Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. I thank and praise God for having you, because had it not been for God and Grow, I wouldn't have known love. I would not have. I didn't believe in it anymore. I didn't know love. I didn't believe in it for me, but I love you. I truly do. I always have loved, and now I know love because of God. God is love, and God teaches us love. And so we're going to use love to drive this hate out. We're going to use love each and every day in our families, in our children, in our jobs, everywhere that we come in contact with. Sow love and watch your harvest grow. Use love in your workplace. We are to make a living. Everybody is there to make a living. Watch how you talk to people. Don't talk to people in a condescending manner. We all trying to make a living. We all trying to work and make the team work makes the dream work. We all trying to do it. We all trying to chip in. We all trying to be the change. So let's live in it. What we want in God, let's live in it. We all want to be the change. So I'm living in it. I'm going to accept it. I declare it in God. Just as I spoke out grow, I'm speaking out for world peace. I'm speaking out for Myanmar. I'm speaking out for democracy. I'm speaking out for justice. I'm speaking out for genuine equality and righteousness all over the world. Everywhere. Sowing love, sowing seeds of love everywhere, so we can watch our harvest of love grow. We're going to have a great big harvest of love. Who is minding the children? That was our episode yesterday. Who is minding the children? And then I read afterwards about the 12 and 14-year-old in the shootout with the police down in Florida. And my thoughts are on that situation. Who is minding the children? We can't sit up and let TikTok and World Star and social media babysit our children. We have to know where our children are and be mindful of what's going on. Be mindful of the spiritual warfare. Be mindful of the spiritual attacks, because they're not just out for you. They out for yours. They out for your legacy. Out for everything that you have. Steal, kill, and destroy. That's what evil does. But we have to drive it out, because God's will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. It's going to be God's will, not evil's. So let's go with that. I want to be in the will of God, because I used to do it my way. For all these years, I was like Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. That was the wrong way. Now I got a better way in God, and that is to grow in God. So God then enacted the plan. Now it's time to take a stand. Grab my hand. Here we grow. We growing in God. We're going to grow over this evil all over the world. I'm telling you, I am calling for and praying for us to come together, for us to rise over this evil, rise over the oppression. God then gave us a plan. I've been on a journey. Grow, I have truly been on a journey learning about love, receiving love, something I never had besides from my family. I never had that kind of love, never known love. I gave love, but never received it for myself, and didn't even know how to love myself. But through God and through Grow, what I spoke out Grow. And through that, look at us growing in 42 countries. We are working the plan that God has given us. This is the plan that God has gave us. And now we are going to work it. We are going to grow, and we are going to rise. We are going to take a stand over this evil and drive this hate out and make the world great. Make it a better place for our children, for ourselves today, and for our tomorrow, because they are looking at us. Our children are looking at us. We need to know where they are. We need to know where our babies are at. We really do. Can't just let them go no more. It's too dangerous. We want, that's our legacy. And we want to see our legacy live on, carry on. A legacy of love. That's what that is. So let's grab our children. Let's get them together. And I want to tell you about the spiritual warfare. Living in that house with those demons. No, it wasn't the first haunted house I lived in, but this one was the most active. And in this house, I was able to hear the voice of God because I wasn't under the influence of drinking anymore like I used to. I was able to hear the voice of God and know what I was dealing with, because by his spirit, even though I have never seen God in the flesh, I know that God is real, and I know that evil is real. And I know evil goes through people, just like God works through us. It's a battle of good and evil. And you just have to decide what side you want to be on. You want to be on the good side, or you want to be on the evil side. You want to work for God. You can't teeter and totter. You got to be on the path of righteousness, and stay on the path of righteousness as you growing in God. Begin to sow the seeds of love. Sow love everywhere you grow. When you go, take your heart with you. Take love with you. Carry that love with you, and sow love, show love everywhere, in your workplace, through your kids and your family and your marriage, everywhere, through everybody. Just start showing love. Because, see, we've been doing it the wrong way before. Now it's time to do it a better way in God. It's time to grow in God. So, and with a thermal imaging, I was able to see, a demon standing in my dining room table and standing at the table there. So, and I was aware, truly aware of the evil presences in the house. It was more than one. It was the presences of evil in the house. But God rose up on my behalf, honey. I was terrified, scared to death. But, I was also working for the Lord, growing in God. And the stronger I got in God, God revealed to me that evil has no power except what you allow it to have. So now what we got to do is get out of the spiritual warfare. Stop saying, well, I'm going to be forgiven. If I keep doing this, go back and ask for forgiveness. Keep doing that, because God is going to hold you in account for your heart. God is going to hold you in account for those actions. Yeah, right from wrong. So now it's time to start doing right. I have been removed out of the spiritual warfare. People sit up there and say, well, how can you do this and how can you do that? Easy. Get out of it. Get out the spiritual warfare. Get away from it. Somebody trying to bring you down. You know who they are. You keep sticking your hand out to them. They keep burning you every time, every single time. It's time to leave folks alone. It's time to learn how to stay in your lane and leave people alone. Keep going forth in God. Yes, you are aware of what's going on here, but it's time to remove yourself out of that before that pulls you in, and that draw you in down into the hole of the spiritual warfare, down at ground zero. You don't want to be down there, because you may not come up out of ground zero. Ground zero ain't a good place to be. So you need to get up out of there before you head on down. See, that's what it does. It spirals you on down and down and down. You don't keep defeating. You keep knocking you down. Every time you get up, knock you back down. So there, you need to remove yourself out of it. Get up out that spiritual warfare. It's just like, really, when I was in that house, in my room and in the bathroom, and the rest of the house, the evil had it. But when I stepped up out of there, honey, in come the Spirit of God. Because by his Spirit, I'm a conqueror and I'm a warrior, and I'm not going to be defeated by this evil that's trying to take me out. I'm not going to be defeated by the demon that I married. I'm not going to be defeated by that either. The demon that was coming up through him to try to destroy me. Now, maybe he realized now, he made a mistake, this, that, and the other. But that's all over with and done with. Honey, we growing in God now. It's time to grow. Okay, well, go ahead and start growing. Because, see, you going to grow for God. You growing because you got to give an account for your life and your actions and what you do on this earth. We all do. I had to give an account for myself. I had to forgive me. And all what I have done. How I done slipped up and fell. How I done got caught up and fell for the sit-ups and the traps. I done been there, done that. I know what it's like, honey. I know what it's like to be oppressed. I know what it's like to be locked down. I know what it's like to be homeless and not have nothing. I know what it's like to not feel no love from nobody as you against the world. I know what that's like. But I had God. And you have God. God is still there by his spirit. God has never left you. All things are possible through God, honey. All you got to do is believe. Trust in God. Keep that smile on your face because that's faith in God. Keep your faith going and keep on growing in the Lord. I'm telling you, all things are possible with God. Grow, speak it out, live it. Whatever you want, your breakthrough, go forth in God and forgiveness and live in what you want. Live in it. Speak it out. Ask the Lord, Lord, this is what I want. Help me get this. Lord, I'm trying to do this and do that. And there you go. Speak it and live in it as if you have it and watch God manifest it in your life. God and the beloved ancestors, honey, are going to manifest it in your life. Just like the evil uses evil spirits. Honey, God got spirits too. And the spirits that were in that house were condemned for their actions. There's a 100-year-old house with some evil spirits in it. And one day, as I was standing at that table, that dining room table, I don't know which spirit it was, but I felt the heavy presence of sorrow. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for what I've done because I spent some months in torment in that house. Months, dealing with those demons. And I felt a sense of sorry. So I just spoke it out. I said, well, if it's up to me, you're forgiven. And then as soon as I spoke that, the weight was lifted. I felt like light in the house. And it was like 2-3 days later, my daughter came and told me, said she didn't feel no evil spirits in the house anymore, but they were there, they still were there, but one asked for forgiveness. So I'm telling you something, this right here, I would not be on this podcast telling you a bunch of crap. Really, I wouldn't. This is serious. This is real. This is grow. This is the plan that God put in motion. God put grow in motion, but he had to show me that the evil had no power over me in that house. No evil, no weapon formed against you shall prosper because by God, God is greater is he that is in you than he that is in this world, than the evil of this world. But you got to rise above it. You got to grow from it. You got to leave the spiritual warfare alone. You got to get out of that. Somebody who don't mean you no good, get away from around them. Because see, next they going to pull you down where you ain't going to come back up. Pull you down to ground zero and there you go. You know who they are, who don't mean you no good. It could be a relative. You have to leave folks alone and get in your lane and stay in your lane. And keep your eyes focused on the Lord, honey. Go find you some peace. Sometimes you just got to go off by yourself. Go meditate it to God. Meditate that situation to the Lord. It ain't time to do it our way. It's time for a better way in God. We've been doing it our way, knocking our head up against the wall. And now, here we grow. Here we sow. Growing in God, growing together all over the world. So, we are going to do this. By his spirit, yes, we can. We are mighty warriors and conquerors of God. And we are not to be defeated until transition, honey. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. None whatsoever. I declare it, you declare it, and you got to believe it. You got to believe and trust in God. Hold on to God's unchanging hand and know that God is with you. Know that God is carrying you and know that God is going to bring your breakthrough. It's coming for you, honey, just like it came for me, just like God is still showing up and showing out. God is real. You just like you think this evil in this evil has no power. The evil is just big and prevalent and is all everywhere. But so is God. God is everywhere and God is moving. God is on the move with the plan. And here we grow. It's working, honey. Love drives out hate is the message of the freedom fighters. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, honey, just like the evil is working, God is working. God is moving. It's just you can't see him. God is quiet. You just don't know. You just see the evil and you focus on the evil. Hurry up and run and watch the news. What they doing now? What's happening over here? What they gonna do next? What they talking about next? See, that's why WatchCon shut down his office, because he ain't talking about nothing. Don't nobody want to hear that foolishness. You ain't coming back from nothing. Go somewhere and sit down. And watch how this president run the country, how it's supposed to be ran, with genuine equality and righteousness. Fill up his cabinet with people of color that represent what the country really looks like. What this country really truly is founded on. The principles that it's founded on. And where we trying to go as a world, as a nation. The whole world is looking at the United States. What we gonna do next? We gonna come together. We gonna unite the way we supposed to. We gonna unite in God. God is love. God commands us to love. God commands us to love from birth. And that love is still there. It's still there. Even in the most evil person, that love is still there, honey. They got a heart. They know how to love. See, but they done piled all kind of other stuff on top of it. But I'm here to tell you, God is real. Yeah, the evil's real too. But God is real, and God is more prevalent than the evil. God is greater than the evil. The evil has no power. It really doesn't. I'm telling you, it used to be a time, honey, where I was so scared I wouldn't even go in the house on my break. I wouldn't go in there. I'd sit in the driveway till it was time to go back to work. That's a shame. Paying rent and you can't even go in there cause of evil. Them ghosts was off the chain in that house, honey. But I'm telling you, God is off the chain too. And here go God. Here we go, growing in God. So that's all I worry about. I focus on God. I keep my track on the Lord, honey. I don't run and find out what the evil doing next. Cause see, I know that God is working a plan out. It was a time where I was just ready to let go. I was just tired. I was sick of it. And depression. On top of that, oppression led to depression. And I was sick of it. But God, God put me here for a reason, for a purpose, to lift us all around the world. See, because I became lifted through God. That was the only way I got lifted. Didn't nobody lift me. God lifted me. God showed me. So now that God has shown me, I'm sent here. I'm here for a reason, for a purpose. In this world, but not of this world. I'm transformed by renewing of my mind so I can show you how to become transformed. So I can show you, don't allow nothing to control you. Don't let nothing run you. Not eat no cigarettes, no drink, no nothing. Don't let nothing run you. You are a warrior by his spirit. Zechariah 4:6. You are a conqueror. You are over that. It ain't over you. You over that. You over everything. You over the evil. You over all that. Rise above it. Grow over it. Grow over whatever they said. Grow over whatever they did. Turn around. We're going to do it a different way. We're going a better way in God. We're going forth in love, and we're going forth in forgiveness. We're going to keep our eyes focused on God, straight ahead. Destination up ahead, greatness. Destination up ahead, genuine equality and righteousness. That's where we going. That's what we shooting for. We going to shoot for the moon, and we ain't going to fail because we going to make it because we got God. So we're going to keep on growing in God, sowing the seeds of love. God gave me the side. So I'm going to use the side, sow the seeds of love, and watch the harvest grow all over the world. We're going to grow in love. We're going to rise above this oppression. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. I love you. I truly, truly do. Love. Love is what it's all about. God is love. And God showed me love. Cause I didn't have no love. I had a husband who was out to get me. And then on top of that, I was in a haunted house with demons. And I had to be in there by myself. My daughter was scared, and so she'd take every opportunity she could to spend the night away. And my grandbaby, he had to go with his dad sometimes, so I had to be in there alone. Great big old 100-year-old haunted house with demons, and the biggest demon sleeping right next to me. So God had to show up and show out on my behalf. But I kept growing. I kept on growing in God, honey. And even though these last 6 6 months have been so turbulent. They really have, that I almost let go. But God held on, and I held on. I held on to God's unchanging hand, honey, as hard as it was. It was hard to let go, and it's hard to trust what you cannot see. But God is there, and God is real, and God is going to help us overcome. You're going to see, keep growing in God. Keep rising. Keep striving to reach your greatness like the great mountain. Don't worry about the evil. We're going to slough off all this old stuff. Don't worry about what they doing over there. Don't worry about what they said. Keep on growing in God. Keep on just stay in your lane. Don't float over there. Don't change lanes. Stay in your lane. Keep growing on destination greatness. Genuine equality and righteousness. That's where we headed. The message of the freedom fighters. Carrying on the dream. Carrying on the dream of the great Dr. King. Thank you, Dr. King. And I'm going to carry the dream on, the genuine equality and righteousness, the keepers of the dream, kings and queens. Here we grow. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. I love you, honey. I truly, truly do. I love you. God got you. Believe. By his spirit, you can do it. Through all things. All things. You can do it through, by God. All things are possible. It is. Grow. I love you.